What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with the Sultan of Sando, Mr. Gab Lim, and Maui Up. What's up, guys?
Yeah, ang kagulo ng UAAP standings. What the hell is happening to the UAAP standings? I think that's gonna
Crazy.
be our title. That has to be our title. Kagulo ang UAAP standings because wow.
NU finally on a winning streak, by the way.
NU.
Finally getting a winning streak.
Madaming teams nagka-winning streak ng second round.
And they're not at the bottom after being in the bottom for most of the second round with that very poor start. We'll talk about that NU upsetting UST game later. Let's talk about the first game first, which was, expected naman yung result in the sense na FEU Ateneo tuloy. FEU losing to LaSalle, but it was actually a very close game. And FEU had a chance to win this. They were actually leading LaSalle for parts of the fourth, if I remember correctly. But Mike Phillips.
They were leading heading into the fourth by one.
Heading into the fourth also.
That's what I messaged the two of you guys. Can FEU actually do this?
Sabi mo
Can
nga,
FEU
diba?
actually pull off this upset?
Because in the previous podcast, we were talking about it offline after the previous podcast. Sabi mo, mahirap yung FEU kasi LaSalle and UP pa. Imposible na, mahirap. But they almost pulled it off. So let's talk about that. Let's do a quick recap of that FEU LaSalle game. Gab, ano ba nangyari dun sa game na yun?
Well, it was a tale of runs actually. The first quarter, FEU started off really hot. I think it was 19-8. Tama ba?
Hot start
tama
na
diba?
naman for FEU.
Yeah.
1910.
Similar to
1910.
1910 in the first quarter. VJ Pre had 8 points in the first quarter. I thought this was gonna be a big VJ Pre game. Hit 2 threes, got a layup. I thought, okay, this is it. He's gonna show KQ. I'm the future. I'm here. Diba? Akala ko yun eh. But he kind of slowed down after that. And actually, the whole FEU team slowed down after that because they kind of got stuck. After a hot first quarter, their second quarter was the old FEU throwing up brick after brick after brick. Jorek Bautista could not find the bottom of the net. VJ Prek cooled off. January Pasaol cooled off. And LaSalle just kept going at it, just running through their plays, getting inside baskets. KK wasn't even scoring. It was mostly JC Makalalag. Doy Dungo was a spark off the bench, and that led to them leading. Yeah, the boys of the Doy Dungo. It's been underrated how much his minutes have decreased since the start of the season because, well, a lot of players came back, So, pretty underrated nun na, like, si CJ Austria pala, yung bumalik, kaya medyo nabawasan yung minutes ni Doy Dungo. But he showed that, we were very high on Doy Dungo. Maui, Sam, remember coming into the season, we saw him in the preseason. He was the point guard at times in the preseason. He was playmaking, running pick and roll. We thought na, hey, he could be a underrated Rookie of the Year candidate if they give him the amount of opportunity that Coach Topek was giving in the preseason, but that hasn't materialized. But in this game, we saw, especially in that stretch in the second quarter, Doy Dungo is still a future star in this league. And LaSalle stole him from UST. The way LaSalle recruited him from UST, I think is a big get for LaSalle because this guy is really good. I do want them to start next season. Let's see how that pans out. I mean, they do have 2 big-time guards coming in, plus all of their other recruits, Pablo, Amos.
Good point.
Diba? But I do want them to start. I do want him to get minutes. He is pretty good. He can shoot, can hit the mid-range shot, he can drive to the basket, and he can pass. He was running the offense for LaSalle in the preseason. So, I don't know. This was a glimpse of the potential of Doy Dungo. But anyway, back to the game. After that cold second quarter, akala ko actually tapos na yung game nung third quarter kasi wala talagang mapasok yung FEU. It was the same old FEU.
Kahit nung start
Oh,
no? Nung start ng
oh.
third.
Kahit nung start ng third, LaSalle was already up double digits and then they were saved by Royce Alforque.
To all the haters out
To
there.
all the haters, to all the FEU fans who love to target Royce Alforque.
Pati
He
tayo.
brought them He brought them back into this game. Royce,
Tawag
I
ng
think
veterano.
Mama.
Oh.
Binama.
Actually, he was driving to the basket, hitting mid-range shots, and even if he missed, he drew the defense, which allowed for a Konate dunk. So, credit to Royce. And as I said, they had the lead heading into the fourth, largely due to Royce Alforque. If I was kind of wondering why they took him out, but maybe he was tired. Maybe Coach Sean Sabers was trying to keep him fresh. But in the fourth quarter, it became the Mike Phillips show, and lahat tayo, all three of us were going crazy about what Mike Phillips was fucking doing in
Oh
that
my
fourth
gosh.
quarter. What? What the? What the F talaga?
What the F?
What the F ang ginagawa ni Mike Phillips? He was rebounding the ball like crazy, had 15 rebounds total. He was the point of attack of the press. There were 4 straight possessions. FEU could not get it over half court. And I was shouting at my
Wow.
TV like, Coach Sean, where is your press break? What the hell are you doing? Get it off. They had already called the timeout. Diba? They called the timeout already.
Wala pa rin.
And they still could not get it past half court. The tactic by Coach Topex to put Mike Phillips at the head of the zone press kind of reminded me of what Alden Ayo used to do with Ben Mbala. Diba? He would use Ben Mbala as the point of attack of yung office press and use Ben to trap. Because when someone that big is trapping you, like what Mike Phillips was doing yesterday,
Yung
it's
length
kind of
niya,
hard
no?
to pull off those cross-court passes, those back passes, those slip passes because he's so long, he's so big, he's so active. It was really baffling that FEU couldn't figure it out. I couldn't blame them. Mike Phillips was so active. He wasn't just forcing turnovers. Even when FEU got the rebound, he was swiping the ball away. Relentless. And to add at that, he was making wild shots on the other end. Remember
Crazy shots.
Grabe, 3-point play.
Oh, yung
Grabe
dunk
yung
attempt
three-point
on yung dunk attempt on Mo Konate na binato na niya pataas and it still went in. Mike Phillips, to go along with a bad KQ game, I don't know the exact statistical points race, but I assume he gained ground on KQ because what a freaking wild stat line. 17, 15, 2 assists,
5 steals.
steals, and 2 blocks.
5
What
steals.
the hell, man? I was telling you guys, Mike Phillips is a freaking cheat code. He's a cheat code. He's a game shark for all of those who
Game
know what a game
shark.
shark.
Grabe
If you
yung
still know what a game
reference.
shark is, masakit na mga tuhod niyo, masakit na mga kasukasuhan niyo kung ako alam niyo kung ano yung game shark.
Game shark. Solid.
He was a game shark in this game. And if you look at the stat sheet talaga, KQ was 2 out of 17, only 8 points. Josh David, their third best player, 1 out of 10 from the
10.
field. Only 3
Clutch.
points.
Hit a clutch 3 though. The only
hit a
field
clutch
goal
three,
that
so
he
it's
made.
the only field goal, yeah. So kudos to Josh David for hitting that. But if you look at the stat sheet, you would really think this was supposed to be a DLSU loss.
Yeah.
Diba?
Good point.
Diba? KQ scoring 8, 11% from the field. Josh David not doing much. Nothing coming into fruition. This was supposed to be a DLSU loss talaga. But yet Mike Phillips just willing them to win. The run they made in the fourth quarter was without KQ on the floor. That was what's more impressive. They didn't have KQ there. It was just Mike Phillips disrupting the entire game, disrupting FEU, making plays on the other end, and just over and over again winning LaSalle to win this game. ibang klase. Mike Phillips he's a beast, a cheat code. He is if he wins MVP, I'm sure hindi magrereklamo. Well, siguro si KQ magrereklamo. But I'm sure no one magrereklamo. Kasi what is this thing? What is this guy doing? Ang galing, ang galing. Ang galing talaga ni Mike
Feel ko
Phillips.
pinahabol lang ni KQ
Statement
sa
game. Oh.
sa MVP race si Mike Phillips. Oh, sige.
Malayo pa rin yan. Grabe yung last string of games eh.
pero
Kiambao,
pero
Oh.
pero ano no, ito yung luxury of having a lineup with Mike Phillips and KQ. You have a bad game from KQ pero Mike Phillips can take over. Imagine mo, the top 2 MVP candidates are in your team, di ba? 2 of the top MVP candidates are in your team. So, even if you have a bad KQ game, Mike Phillips is there to take over. And tama ka, Gaga. Mike Phillips really willed this team to win. I love that. Mike Game Shark Phillips. I love that new nickname for Mike Phillips.
Mga millennials lang ata mga gets ng reference ng Game Shark.
Baka nga hindi gets ni Mike Phillips di ba? Hindi pa na naabutan ni Mike. Before I go to you, Maui, I do want to say, on the FEU side, I think one of the reasons why Mike also dominated, especially in that fourth quarter, kung tingnan mo yung minutes ni Mike and Mo Konate played almost the entire game. And we were talking about Mo Konate noong third quarter, early in the fourth. He was so dominant. Tingnan mo yung start nung fourth quarter. He was grabbing every rebound, boxing Mike Phillips out. I think how many rebounds did he get? He got 20 plus rebounds, diba?
27
rebounds. And he was just all over the boards nung una, grabbing 27 rebounds. Pero, we were talking about this before starting, Gab. May kita mo, bandang dulo, second half of the fourth quarter, this guy was winded. Wala na. Pagod na siya.
He couldn't even jump anymore,
He couldn't
Sam.
jump. He couldn't run.
He was so tired.
Jogging back. He was so tired. And I swear, there were moments in the game where I think I saw him like asking for a sub, but like kinausap siya ni Coach Sean, and I feel like parang you have to play the game. You have to play the rest of the game. He was just so tired, and Mike Phillips was fresh. He played 22 minutes. Ito din yung advantage ng deep lineup ng Salle versus ng lineup ng FEU na Mo Konate has to play the entire game for them to even keep it competitive, keep it close. So, etong si Mike, fresh, full court press, tama ha, Gab. He was the main defender ng mga guards nung nag-full court press sila. And then, he just dominated, diba? And Konate couldn't stop him then. But it's not because Konate wasn't good, but you could see, wala na siyang legs. Hindi na siya makagalaw masyado by the end of this game. Maui, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah. Actually, just to add lang, yung sa Lasal, I just have to say that we always say that Kevin Kiambao is a unicorn, di ba, in the UAAP. I would say that Mike Phillips is a unicorn too in the UAAP, di ba? Kasi,
good point. Yeah.
Despite not having a Ben Embala level FSA or an FSA that is probably the best, di ba? They're the only team that can afford to not. We always say that there are two things that a championship team needs in the UAAP, di ba, to be competitive. Number one is the FSA, and number two is usually the point guard slot. With LaSalle, it's different, di ba? They don't need an FSA because Mike Phillips is a unicorn, di ba? He's probably the only big that can really go, aside from si QMB. Sige, we can say si QMB is another person, but Mike Phillips all these years has been the only local big man who can go toe-to-toe with any FSA for the whole game, di ba? What a game by Mike Phillips. I think this is not the first game that Mike Phillips has willed LaSalle to win, if I'm not mistaken. We were able to see a game similar to this, I think, in the first round, where Mike, just yung energy ni Mike Phillips was able to will them to win. This is probably the worst game of Kevin Kiambao in the UAAP the past 2 or 3 seasons, yet they still won this game. But one of my key takeaways is actually for FEU. Diba? They did anything they could to also win this game. You hit it right on the spot. Si Konate played 39 minutes and all 40 seconds almost. So he only rested 20 seconds. I really like how the rookies responded, diba? During the start of the game, Pasaol was fantastic. Si VJ Pre was also very good nung start. And this is the type of game that they win, diba? This grit and grind game below 60 points where teams have quarters that they score single figures. I think that they were able to execute their game plan properly. Maybe their biggest mistake na talaga is not being able to break that press nung fourth quarter. Diba? They were surprised out of nowhere when Mike Phillips, as Gab mentioned, was the point of attack defender for that press. Diba? I think they tried different people bringing down the ball. I even remember si VJ Pre brought down the ball one time, turned the ball over.
That was their game plan after the timeout, Maui.
After the
They
timeout.
timeout, tas sabi nila, VJ, sige, ikaw mag-akit ng bola. Since nahihirapan makakita yung guards na over Mike Phillips. Mike Phillips still stole it away from him.
Yeah. So, I think that's the classic That's the classic thing you do when you try to break the press Diba? You give it to the big forward to bring down the ball. That was what, if you guys, some of our old subscribers watch the UAAP, that was what Ateneo was doing with Alvarez, sakto. During the days that LaSalle had that Pumaren press. Yeah, so I think FPU did all the things right. Maybe it's partially also because of experience why they lost this game, diba? I really like how they clawed back into the game, diba? Tama si Gabi kasi when I was watching this game during the second quarter, kala ko wala na to. Diba? Kasi LaSalle was able to get back the momentum quickly. The usual game where the wing players of LaSalle were starting to contribute. I was just so surprised. There were actually a lot of good looks for Kevin Kiambao that he just couldn't make. That's one of the reasons why FEU was also able to keep themselves in the game. Si VJ David also struggled, but that only basket was a big basket. Yung 3-point shot niya from the top of the key. Diba? Doy Dungo was very good this game. Happy that he was able to break out again, diba? Maybe he can get more minutes. It's a bit concerning that si CJ Austria still hasn't found his footing during this season. He was a very big player for them nung off-season. But ang hirap for FEU. This is one of the reasons why I didn't want them to start 0-4, 0-5, diba? You don't have the luxury to lose games like this because you started out the season pretty bad, diba? Despite being one of the hottest teams in the UAAP now in the second round, it doesn't look good. They still have UP. I'm sure UP is fired up to finish the second round. We'll see if FEU can still make that miracle run to the Final Four. But sayang, diba? We said scheduled loss and mukhang imposible, but they could have won this game easily, di ba? Mike Phillips was just crazy. He turned Super Saiyan mode nung fourth quarter. Diba? 5 steals from your starting big man. That's crazy.
Yung nag-ultra instinct na si Mike Phillips. Hindi na Super Saiyan. Hindi na Super Saiyan, Maui. Nag-ultra instinct na si Mike Phillips.
I love the references in this show so far. We also have to talk about Joric Bautista, diba? Another poor performance from Joric Bautista, scoring 0 points in this game, missing all his shots. Goose egg. Imagine if he only hit his averages or kahit slightly below his averages, maybe they would have won this game. It was a 5-point game in the end. Gab, you brought up something I think before the episode started. Joric Bautista also had a horrible game against LaSalle in the first round, and that was also a close game. So nung chinek ko, they only lost by 6 points in that game, and Joric Bautista was shot 14% from the field, 1 of 11 from 2 points and 2 from 10 from 3. So 3.
Mas okay na pala yun.
Okay na pala yun. Imagine if he scored 9 points in this game, panalo sila, diba? So, I don't know, weakness niya. Ito yung weakness ni Joric Bautista, yung LaSalle defense. But, siguro that was also the missing piece, 'di ba? Everybody sort of chipped in certain during key areas of moments of the game. I was expecting fourth quarter. This is Joric time. He's been so clutch in the fourth in other games, but he just couldn't hit a shot in this game. Gab, ano pa yung, anything else that you want to add about Joric Bautista?
Just really struggled, man. And I guess if we could have hit a couple of threes here and there, maybe they could have pulled this win out. But I guess he's not Joric Buckets Bautista when he's facing LaSalle. But against all other teams, he's Buckets Bautista. Let's go. So, Joric, sana on Sunday, wag mo naman pakitaan ng Ateneo, bro.
On Saturday,
Kasi,
on Saturday.
yung on Saturday, Joric. Baka pwede kang wag mo na mag-buckets mode on Saturday. Magbigyan mo naman ng Ateneo. So, yun lang. Some few other notes from this game. Cholo Ano Nuevo copped an injury again. Oh my goodness. This guy,
Just when we were talking about him,
he just can't catch. He landed badly off fast break contest. I think of a Boris Marasigan layup, and did not look good. He was able to walk it off, so I think that's a positive sign. Pero he never came back, and wow, grabe, sobrang malas talaga ni Cholo.
Kala ko Paul George siya eh. Diba that,
Ako rin, pare.
very reminiscent yung injury dun sa back of the ring. Dun siya nalaglag.
So, sobrang bad ng landing. So I hope he's able to play on Saturday. At this point, I just want him on the court. Even just if he just stands there, huwag na siya maglipad-lipad and all that, because grabe yung malas niya. The other thing is we continue to see the Bright Nuangco treatment of Henry Agonane, only 6 minutes in this game. So I guess my early reaction to this season is coming through. He is a bust.
Bust. Grabe shot attempts niya, bro. Nung game, no?
May follow him.
May 3-pointer.
His only field goal was a jump shot, I think. Diba tama ba?
May 3-point shot siya, tapos may follow away siya. I think back-to-back possessions after siguro nun, sabi ni Coach Topex, halika na, you're out of the game.
The second round has not been kind to Henry Agonane. But maybe against UP, you'll see more of Henry. Again, the UP has length. They have QMB. I think you'll see Henry more there. But it's mainly going to be Mike Phillips. So, to those who were angry at me for saying that Henry Agonane was a bust, I think it's time you check again.
No, actually maraming nagko-comment na sana si Nuangco na lang. He was at this point parang Nuangco was better last season. Yun yung mga nakikita ko ng comments ngayon eh. So, I think a lot of people are starting to agree with you.
Alam mo na what you're going to get eh, 'di ba, with Nuangco? Grabe the CEU boys are BUST.
Biggest bust.
And just another note, Janray Pasaol has the potential to be the next CJ Austria. I do feel it. Because Janray is a bit of a trash talker and he loves to show off. Diba?
Parang uto niya.
Remember, diba? Those Pasaol attitude, diba? I remember in the first round when they were beating Ateneo, when he made the free throw, then he started dancing.
Yeah,
diba?
I remember that.
In their last win, who's yung kalaban nila nung last Saturday? UE? UE, diba? Nung Sunday. So yun yung kalaban nila. He was also making the gun sign after hitting his first shot. Of course, he didn't make much after that. But he started doing that. He started dancing again. In this game, he hit a layup. And he was smiling at who was his defender? I think it was EJ Goliena. He was smiling at him, doing some crazy things. And then, so I have a feeling na itong si Janray Pasaol, once he actually starts being consistent and siguro by next season, once he starts playing better, you could see that he'll be the next CJ Austria. A lot of a lot of opposing teams and opposing fans will probably hate on this guy. He just has it. He has a really annoying face too. I don't know if his face is really annoying, especially when he's smiling and
But
and
yung
he's dancing
ngiti
on the
niya
court.
Oh,
Oh,
parang,
yung ngiti niya nakaka-annoy. Kung
nangaasar.
opposing fan ka, like, I want to throw something at this guy. This guy is so annoying.
Parang yung utol lang yan, di ba? I remember yung favorite yung gano'n.
No.
Uy, I love that. From Pasaol. Okay, sige. So, moving on, let's talk about that second game. The upset between NU and UST. NU stealing this game. It was an exciting game. I think UST led by double digits nung third quarter and into the fourth. So akala ko nga tapos na yung game na to eh. Maui, ano nangyari? What happened and then ano yung initial reactions mo to this game?
Grabe NU, 'di ba? I mean, si Coach Jeff wanted to show, I think sa press conference niya, he mentioned, he wanted to show na hindi fluke yung upset nila with UP. Sayang talaga. I mean, if this team had Diasana, it could be a lot different, 'di ba? Kasi they're still fighting, 'di ba? They're still fighting, they're still able to, most of their games have been competitive, 'di ba? We talked about NU in the first round not being able to close out games, 'di ba? I think they lost a few games via game winners. This is probably their way to save Coach Jeff's seat, 'di ba? We've been saying that maybe si Coach Jeff is in the hot seat, 'di ba? Ito na yung balato nila kay Coach Jeff. They're trying to get to the final four. It's still possible, 'di ba? If they could beat a team like UP, maybe they can sweep their next few games, 'di ba? Ang ganda kasi if you look at the box score, you see a lot of people are stepping up, 'di ba? You see Manansala, you see Palacero. Figaro will always be there. But actually si Palacero, if he just controls yung foul trouble na, he could probably be a better contributor for NU. But really collective effort. Very reminiscent of old NU teams. I really thought, like much like what you said, Sam, that this game was over. Diba? Nung third quarter, Paranada and I think si Fortsky were hitting 3-pointers. You really thought that UST was closing out this game for them to get that Final Four slot. Now it's danger time, as they say. Diba? Now it's danger time for UST. This is what I predicted. Diba? It's happening in the early part. This is what we wanted. Maybe not predicted, maybe what we wanted, more of what we wanted during the early parts of the season, di ba? We said that magkakagulo ang battle for third and fourth. Now it's all of them. Di ba? Rank 3 to 8 still has a chance to make the Final Four. It's UE and UST getting blundered, di ba? Blunder losses in the second round and giving these teams chances, di ba? UST is now in danger time. They have to win every game, di ba? And they have UE penned in the schedule, di ba? So that's gonna be a crazy game to watch out for. I'm just happy, di ba? Players like Manansala are getting chances, di ba? I think a lot of people have been saying that Manansala is a good prospect to make the pros. And this type of game, in the biggest of stages, in the biggest of games for them this season, really gave them a chance to shine. I'm looking forward what NU is going to do. Everybody already, including me, probably wrote them off for the season. Now they have a chance. Much like Adamson last year to steal that fourth slot or maybe even that third slot. Let's see where this goes. For UST, we were talking about Coach Jeff, di ba, on the hot seat. Now it's probably Coach Pido, I think, on the hot seat. Maybe it's justified why their fans want him to have that Bo Perasol role instead of being the coach, diba? They were in a very good fit. They were in a very good place to make the Final Four. Now it's gonna be pressure packed, diba? They have to win every game. It's gonna be crazy how the UAAP will end. I'm sure it's gonna be crazy how it's gonna end. But masakit, especially for UST fans who expected them to make the Final Four, but who are still very nervous, diba? It's justified pala why they didn't say that this team is still is legitimate, diba? Because they're starting to the cracks are really starting to show for UST. They have to make sure that they win their next few games or risk losing the Final Four slot. Diba? We mentioned that this team even could be that dark horse team, diba? Early in the season that could potentially upset UP or LaSalle, diba? But it doesn't look good for them, diba? Even despite Maranada starting to figure things out, diba? Kasi that's one of our main
Yeah.
concerns during the start of the
Tama.
season. It's just that I would say nawala talaga yung other people who were stepping up. Crisostomo has been missing. Lemit has been non-existent. Si Estacio, who were very high, hasn't really been given the chance. It hasn't showed that he deserved the chance this season. It's just been the same thing. Tongkara, Caballero, and Fortsky having those big games. And it looks like yung keys to victory nila is them really having that fourth or fifth guy stepping up. And there hasn't been a consistent guy.
Yeah, maganda yung sinabi mo, Mau, about NU din. I just want to go back to what I said over the weekend when we talked about our ballers of the weekend. I did say si Coach Jeff tsaka yung the other guys of NU para sa akin yung ballers of that weekend. And I feel like I could say that again for this game. I think we need to give Coach Jeff Napa his flowers. We need to give credit to him then for still continuing to fight despite having a slim chance of making it to the Final Four. Again, tama ka, Mau, may chance pa talaga sila technically. And dahil nagkagulo na yung standings, mas open na yung number 4 slot at the very least. One of the things that we talked about Coach Jeff when they were losing was yung lack of flexibility in strategy and coaching. And I feel like yung sinabi mo na the past two in this win and even in the previous win, he actually has been playing a lot of the other guys. Other guys have been getting minutes. Dito, Jello Santiago, I mentioned him in the previous episode. He got 18 minutes of the bench. Si Tebol is playing. Si Tolabot played. Si Parks played again, although I don't know why. I don't know why he's getting minutes, but si Coach Jeff is playing him. I like how I feel like si Coach Jeff parang okay, I'm probably he probably plays a lot of his veterans most of the time and strict siya, 'di ba? Alam natin 'yan, si Humamoy has a short leash. Pero siguro sabi niya we're at the bottom, might as well give my other guys a chance or might as well let Manansala cook since he's graduating and he needs to showcase his talents for the pros, diba? Because I've noticed na he's letting other guys play more. He's making more plays for Manansala, not just Jake Figueroa. So I do appreciate that for Coach Jeff. Even si Patrick Yu, diba? They were trying to look for him, although inalat siya in this game. But I like what I've seen from this NU team, and I can't help but to sort of root for them. Na ang ganda nung story na from the bottom of the second round and then they make it to the Final Four. Would be an interesting Cinderella story. Gab, your thoughts on this game?
Before that, bouncing off Maui's point na crazy yung standings, I saw a post by Pong Docanes, the Sultan of Sando. The Sultan of Stats. Ako pala yung Sultan of Sando.
Mga kapwa Sultan.
Binibigay mo yung title mo, bro.
Sorry, Sir Pong. Pero sabi niya,
Sir Pong, baka naman pwede kayo magsando one of these days para makita niyo.
come on the show! We don't want to have you. Anyway, bouncing off Maui's point and of Sir Pong Docanes, he mentioned that if things fall the right way, there could be a 5-way tie for fourth. All teams with 5-9 records. And I think at that point, they will figure it out with quotient-wise and there will be a step ladder for fourth.
Wow! Sana mangyari yun.
Diba? That's gonna lengthen the UAAP season. There are gonna be more games. And there's gonna be more high stakes. All 8 teams will be playing in the playoffs in the postseason.
Parang do or die, no? Parang NCAA, US NCAA, March Madness, ganun.
I wish that would happen. Diba? If there were 5 teams at 5-9,
That's
so anyway,
crazy.
that's gonna be my hope. I hope that things fall that way. All teams with 5-9 records, and then having a step ladder for fourth just to get into the final four. I really hope that happens. So anyway, back to this game. This game started off as siguro as NU wanted it because there were a lot of 2-point shots. It's mostly Motong Kara on the other end, just punishing PJ, but also PJ Palacelo on the other end, giving Motong Kara the business. Just, we kind of gush about the footwork of Manaytay, Cedric Manzano in the post. PJ has excellent footwork as well. The moves he was putting on the UST bigs, on Crisostomo, on Tongkara, he was asking to be subbed
Barbecue
out at
chicken.
barbecue chicken because he's so big. Even si QMB nung last game, whenever he'd bump into PJ, siya yung tumatalsik because PJ is so big and strong. So, yung tama si Maui eh. If he just controls his fouls, and he will have to because Kurt Persano exited this game after 9 seconds with an injury. So,
Okay.
literally, the only center left for NU is PJ Palacelo. There's no other center left. Joe Culapa left. For a team that had 4 centers entering the season, they're now down to just one. Mo Diazana, 5 nga eh. Mo Diazana, Omar John, Joe Culapa, and now Kurt Persano. They're not anymore in the lineup. It's just PJ. He's just the only big man left. And siguro, well, if you count
Padrones.
Padron, he's not a center, Sam. He's like, what,
Yeah, yeah,
six,
yeah.
six four, six
Siya
five?
na yung next biggest, no?
Yeah, so I love seeing this game for PJ. It's parang it makes me feel good na palagi kong hinahype up si PJ because when you see games like this and that he can dominate inside the paint and not just inside the paint, even from mid-range, you see the potential of a PJ Palacelo. And actually, I think during one of the opening video segments of a UAAP game, yung pick din ng mga NU players to break out this season was PJ. Kasi si Homamoy, si Steve Nash, all of them picked PJ. So, obviously, they all see the potential of a PJ Palacelo. And now, with if Kurt Persano is not able to play in their next games, si PJ lang talaga. I mean, he's gonna have to play more than his 26 minutes that he played here. He's gonna have to play some Mo Konate level minutes because there is no other option left. Yeah, and same thoughts. I thought UST did a great job in ball movement and in reading NU's defenses. In stark contrast to how UP did it in their Sunday game, UP was turning the ball over so many times against the switching defenses of NU. But UST, maybe they scouted it well, but I think it's more of a Forsky Padrigal thing that he knows how to read every defense thrown at his team and that he's able to get the ball moving. So that's how they got the lead back in that second quarter. That's how they got the big lead in the third quarter. Moving the ball around, finding open shooters, finding cutters. Nick Cabanero was unstoppable. We always talk about how much
Mm-hmm.
he's a walking mismatch because he's so goddamn big.
They have to put
Uh,
Figueroa on him para medyo ma-match up yung muscle ni
yeah, diba?
Cabanyero.
So, and same as you guys, I actually thought this game was over in the third quarter when USU went up by double digits. They were firing on all cylinders. They were finding open shooters. Asido, I think, hit a couple. Si Ice Danting hit one from the corner. Motong Kara was on his game. Nick Caballero was on his game. So, kala ko yun. And throughout this game, even in the third quarter, Jake Figueroa was scoreless. He had not scored at all. He was, I think, 0 of 7. Then
Oo nga
finally, in the
pala. I
fourth
forgot
quarter,
that. Yeah.
he hit a 3. A 3 pa. May nakakata. He was missing everything at the
2
rim.
threes pa nga ata eh.
Oh, he hit the 3 from the right wing, hit another 3 yung coming back, and that started to keep him going, get him going. And then suddenly, Eddie was hitting all sorts of threes.
Panisiman ng
Jolo
Sala, di ba?
Manansala, hindi na kailangan ng boarding para makahit ng 3. Puro swak na yung napasok niya. Di ba? I think in the first round, the only 2 threes he made were off the glass. One
Right.
against UST to tie the game, one against Ateneo to
Parehas
cut the
crucial
lead
3
down.
pa.
Oh,
Yeah.
di ba? So now he doesn't need the glass. So kudos to you, Jolo. But yeah, he got them in this game, and this is what I wanted to see from NU ever since they lost Mo Diazana, was for them to play fast, because they got back into this game by playing fast, getting rebound, running it up the floor, and just taking chances at the rim, trying to get easy baskets. They were playing against a USC defense that was not set. Jolo got a ton of open looks. Jake Figueroa, after hitting those 2 threes, was getting open lanes at the basket. Humamoy got a layup. PJ yung got a stab at the rim. This is how I wanted them to play when they lost Mo. Keep on running, play against an unset defense, and try to get easy baskets. If you miss your 3, so what? At least you're trying to be faster and get easy baskets, because in the half court they really struggle. Aside from their play where they rely on PJ to post up the opposing big, they don't have much of any other offense on the half court. So this is how I want them to play. Really, just keep on running and running and running. And it paid off here. They came back in this game because they ran and were able to get a ton of open shots, whether from 3 or at the rim. And it came down to the wire. Reinhard Dumamoy was a roller coaster in clutch time. Had a crucial turnover.
As usual.
As usual. And then Nick Cabanero with a wide open layup on the other end, missed it. Christian Manaytay got the offensive rebound. No one contested his shot. He still missed it. It was finally rebounded by Reinhard Dumamoy. Hit this first shot to extend it to 3. Then missed this. I think he missed the first.
Missed the first.
Missed the first. Hit his second. So kind of redeemed himself. And then UST, alam mo, may halong malas din tong UST because ang daming shots at the rim nung last possession na mintis sila. I do think they had around 3 chances at the rim to cut the lead down, and just nothing was going in. May halong malas. And you gotta feel for UST fans. They were kind of locked up na eh. Alam mo yun, yung medyo malayo na sila. They had the good lead, around 5 wins versus the 3 of the rest of the field.
Yeah.
And now all 3 teams are now breathing down their necks. Possibly 4 if Ateneo somehow pulls off a win this Saturday against FEU. There are going to be 4 teams breathing down their necks. They actually had a chance for 3rd because UA was on a losing streak. But now they can't even get that anymore. Well, they can, but you know...
5-way tie. We want a 5-way tie.
5-way tie.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Amazing. The UAAP just keeps on giving. It seems like every Wednesday there's a good game. Sayang nga, sana hindi MOA. Ang hirap talaga yung puntahan ng MOA. But if that was in a nearby venue, I would have definitely gone and watched these 2 games. Ang galing. Ako sobrang natuwa ako with the basketball that was played yesterday. Sa Maui.
I do wanna shout out si Jello Santiago again. I think dun sa last play or last few seconds, he was the guy who like double teamed si Manaytay, and then Manaytay lost the ball. Or something like that. So again, like he had crucial defensive plays all throughout the game, just like the last game.
Yung okay kay Jello Santiago, Sam, he's very athletic.
Athletic,
diba?
yeah.
Ang
And
taas niya
strong
tumulong
for a guard, diba?
That Santiago
rebounds.
genes, those Santiago genes are kind of working their magic, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a volleyball player when he was young. That's why he gets so high up there for those rebounds and for his shots. But yeah,
kaya 10 rebounds.
I've liked Jello Santiago since the preseason before season 86.
Yeah.
Remember?
I remember.
Him and Francisco were the guys. They beat UP Remember that in the I think
Pumatay sa UP. Pinoy Liga,
yung
I think. Di ba?
that Pinoy Liga semis, it was them.
Yep.
Yung and Reinhard Umamoy who were killing UP. So we know these guys can play, and Jello Santiago has been showing it. I do hope these 18 minutes are consistently now, consistent for him.
For him.
Sana for next season then he gets it because the way he hustles, he can shoot also. It wasn't just going in this game, but he can shoot, and as I said, he's very athletic, very different from the other wings.
Uh,
Sammy.
I do wanna go back to something I said. Was it at the start of the second round when UST was started losing? Uh, at at how disappointed I was at UST back then. And I know maraming commenters na nagsabi na no, it's okay, we're patient. Ang target lang namin is to make it to the final four, which is still very realistic for UST right now. I'm just curious to hear, like, seeing these games from UST, losing very winnable games against, let's say, an NU or Ateneo, are you still preaching patience, or are you still happy or content, or medyo may halong disappointment na? Because sa akin talaga, on paper, there's so much talent in this team eh. Sabi mo nga, Gab, di ba? We picked them, or Maui, we picked them as a team that could potentially surprise a UP or a LaSalle in the Final Four. But they've been struggling, especially itong second round na to. So, parang there's something wrong for me because if you look at them on paper, it's a uber talented team. But the whole, as a team, the performance, it's not adding up to me. What do you guys think? Like, ikaw, Maui?
Ako yung consistency talaga nung supporting cast. That's very important in the UAAP, di ba? That's the main reason why UP wants the 16 deep lineup, di ba? You don't want to put players who can contribute on the floor, di ba? I think that's the blueprint kasi that Coach Tab showed when Ateneo was very competitive. It's having that next man mentality, di ba? When players struggle, which they do on a game-to-game basis, there's another player that could just easily step up, di ba? I mean, who knew that could happen, di ba? To UP, everyone struggled, di ba? But in reality, that's why UP wants to have, di ba, that 16 deep lineup. That's why UST continues to recruit, di ba? Recruit despite everything. It's a bit concerning lang kasi some of the players that we've been hyping, we've been hearing a lot, like Chase Lane, di ba? Like some of the other players have really not stepped up and showed yung potential. Kahit si Estacio was somebody we expected to step up. When the season started, both Lemit and Crisostomo were very valuable contributors, di ba? I remember that first round game between Ateneo, si Crisostomo was practically unstoppable by any defender, di ba?
Because it was against Ateneo.
But he had huge rebounding games also, I think, in the first round. I actually expected him to take the next step, 'di ba? Sila ni Lemit were two players who showed promise, I think, during their first 4 games. And now they're missing, 'di ba? Si Paranada was missing naman in the first round. But he's contributing. It just doesn't it seems like it's not aligning, 'di ba? Their players are not aligning at the right time. Hindi sila nagsasabay lahat, 'di ba? Si Fortsky also has some very bad games, 'di ba? Where the only is probably main contribution is just setting up the offense and getting those easy baskets for the big man. But grabe yung field goal percentage ni Fortsky this season. It's been up and down, but mostly down. 'Di ba? I expected him to have a better shooting season. We saw him have more consistent games when he was in Ateneo. Maybe that's a byproduct also of the system. I don't know how they're utilizing him, but they have to be more consistent, 'di ba? Kasi parang it seems like si lang talaga ang consistent eh. Si Caballero, you always see put up shots and beat one of the top scorers. And of course, si Motong Kara. 'Di ba? After that kasi it's been up and down, which is why also been inconsistent. Diba? You have to have a lot of players who are consistent to be competitive. Diba? That's also why UE is struggling now in the second round, I think. Diba? Kasi medyo nawala ang nila, consistent score of scoring. Jump.
Gab, let's end it.
Same thoughts. Pretty top heavy ang UST. Aside from Caballero, Manaytay, Tongkara, and Padrigao, actually hindi nga consistent yung apat na yun eh. Walang ibang yung nagko-contribute sa kanila. Again, I thought Lemet was gonna have a big season after the first round, showing promise talaga as Coach Pido's favorite. Ikaw magbantay sa kanya, guy. Mark Lemet has been that, but his minutes have been trending down. Si Asido, I looked really good. I thought he had a ton of good offensive skills. He's a pretty decent shooter. He's pretty long. There's a Coach Pido type guy, but he has been up and down as well. Si Paranada, it's good that he's finally becoming a spark plug of some sorts, but overall, walang sumasama eh. Jeremy Robinson had good games in the first round. He's basically disappeared from the rotation already. He started this game, but lasted 5 minutes. Chase Lane, a lot of USC fans were telling us about him, like, watch out for Chase Lane, watch out for Chase Lane. Wala. I mean, he's barely played in these games. Mix Pangilinan, I've already gone on and on about Mix Pangilinan. He's a shooter who barely shoots, who barely gets it in the basket. I don't know the supporting cast, the inconsistencies. Hey, they're still number 4. They still have a leg up of the rest of the teams, but I'm not on their side because I'm hoping for a 5-way tie.
Ako rin. Actually, Gab, sa list na minention mo, diba si Zane Mahmood, diba? Also hasn't been able to crack the rotation. Hindi na naka-adjust. Yeah.
Nakalimutan din natin si Zane. Okay, so that's it for today's episode. We will be watching the games this weekend and definitely covering them. I think the rest of the games are going to be interesting given the current standings ng mga teams. So something to watch out for. We're hoping for an exciting...
natin, guys, for the weekend. 5-way tie.
5-way tie.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
let's see what will happen, but we're hoping for an exciting UAAP. Let's comment, share, comment down below your thoughts on the games that we saw yesterday. What are you looking forward to this weekend?
And to those that nag-comment about the Cedar and Co episode, we already announced the winners. We replied to your comments, so please email us.
Email
us
us
some stuff to give away.
Yeah, that's it for today's episode. See you this weekend. Kung manonood kayo, we'll be there. Look for us. Bye-bye. Ingat.